Do you want to know the easiest and tastiest way to prepare cauliflower? You won't believe how simple this 3-ingredient recipe is. Cauliflower doesn't have to be bland. Nutty, caramelized, golden, delicious. This recipe is so versatile and shockingly addictive. So of course I've washed my hands, so let me run you through the ingredients that you'll need for this really easy recipe. And actually there's not much here for me to talk about. I've got a beautiful whole cauliflower. I've chosen like a little baby one. It's probably just under 1 kilo. I've got some good quality extra virgin olive oil that's going to give it some extra flavour. You'll need a couple of tablespoons. And then you'll need a couple of tablespoons of salt as well. I'm using some really good quality sea salt flakes. So tips for choosing your cauliflower for this recipe, look for ones that have the whitest florets, and they should be really firm, should be an even colour, and the leaves should be beautiful, fresh, green, vibrant, and still intact. Should feel heavy for its size too. All right, so first steps, you need to make sure your oven is preheated. Set your oven for about as high as it will go. I'm setting mine to about 240 degrees fan forced. I've also got about 3 to 4 litres of water on to boil as well. Okay, so I filled this pot up with a lot of water because I want to make sure when I add the cauli later that it's completely covered, and heavily salt the water now. Really, really, really important. Minimal ingredients, and to make sure that cauli is not bland, needs to be heavily seasoned. Make sure you put a lid on to make this process a bit faster, and you can use some water out of the kettle too if you're in a little bit of a rush. There's really not a lot of prep to do with this cauliflower. I really just want it to shine in all of its whole magnificent beauty. So the outer leaves, the stem, it's all delicious, it's all edible. Don't throw any of it out. All I'm gonna simply do is just trim a tiny bit off the base so it will sit nice and flat in the roasting tray in the oven. So simple. Okay, so water is boiling, so check. And now I just need the cauliflower. And I'm just going to carefully lower that in using, a slotted spoon or a spider. Just be really careful when you do lower it in. Don't go chucking it in there. This is boiling water. Oh, his little leaf is so cute. It's like, help me, I'm drowning. Anyway, so this is now in the pot for 10 minutes. It's really just to give it a little bit of a head start before we roast it in the oven so that the inside is tender but the outside is crisp. So it's been 10 minutes, so I've got my roasting tray here lined with baking paper. Have it close to your pot so you're not traveling very far with that really hot cauliflower. And now just to get it out, be really careful. So to help me, I'm just gonna gently poke a fork into the top, trying not to break it apart too much, and then just use that spider to carefully lift it from the water. Let it drain a bit, and then transfer it to that tray. Okay, so now what we need to do is just let it sit here for 10 minutes, and what's gonna happen is it's gonna kind of steam dry a little bit. A lot of that moisture is gonna escape so that when we roast it in the oven, it gets nice and caramelized and golden. Cauliflower is really the perfect vehicle for any flavors you wanna throw at it. It's got a beautiful mild flavor, so you could use things like curry paste or spice mixes, pesto, garlic, parmesan, whatever you want. But I am just gonna keep it really, really simple, and I'm just gonna use some olive oil and some salt. Drizzle it really generously with oil. And then for any of that oil that comes through at the bottom, take a pastry brush, soak up some of that oil, and then just brush it in those hard to reach areas. So all nice and completely covered in that olive oil, now just add your sea salt. Make sure you also use a generous amount for this too. Okay, so now we've got one very well seasoned cauliflower, so it's off to the oven to roast this thing. Oh, get him straight. Okay, so we're 15 minutes into the cooking time, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate my tray. Really important in case you have hot spots in your oven because we want it to brown evenly. Looks so good already. So you can see those leaves as well. They're not burnt. Think of all of that as flavor. They're getting really nice and gnarly, buttery, smoky. It's gonna be delicious. And if it is starting to brown too much on top though, you can cover it loosely with foil. And now we just wait another 15 minutes. So all finished, it's been about half an hour. You'll know it's ready when it's nice and evenly golden. And if you pierce it with a skewer, it's gonna pierce it very easily, so it's completely tender. Ooh, it looks good. Check this out. Minimal dishes. We've really transformed this humble veg into a show-stopping roast. Nutty, buttery, all those caramelized edges. It's the perfect vehicle for any flavor combo you really want to throw at it. So now I'm going to show you how to transform this as well into a complete meal. So grab a large platter, get some thick Greek yogurt. I've just flavored this with a little bit of cumin and some honey. Spread that generously on the base of your platter. Dollop over some pesto or some other kind of herbaceous sauce. I've actually put some parsley, jalapeno peppers, and just some olive oil and garlic in this. Now grab that beautifully roasted cauliflower and place it on top. It's like a throne. Don't forget actually to serve it with some flatbreads as well, so you've got yourself a complete meal. If you've got any cauliflower left over, it's really easy to incorporate into other meals. Try it in a cauliflower mac and cheese or a soup or a curry, whatever you like. This dish, so gorgeous, so tasty, shockingly addictive. Give this a go for a weeknight meal. You can find this full recipe in the link in the description below, or check out my other videos.